Welcome to r/entitled people, where we share stories from your lives about people who think the rules don't apply to them, and they should get what they want. Thank you friends for subscribing to the channel, and for so many likes. And today we have 3 great stories, so subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story, entitled Woman Threw a Tantrum and Called the Police, who ended up arresting her. The second story, the January that management couldn't manage. The third story, because of the new entitled manager, the business went under. The first story is, Racist B calls the cops on me and a random guy on the bus because apparently a black man can't afford AirPods. Gets Uno reverse carded. Okay, here it is. Background. It happened 2 weeks a little after 7 p.m. I had just gotten McDonald's and was heading home, but felt too fat to walk, so I waited for the bus. When I got on the bus, there was a decent number of people in there. I sat in like the 4th row of seats behind a black guy around my age, when I saw he had something in his ears, so I was curious, and when I got close enough I saw they were hearing aids. Then I just sat down and started listening to anime cover music cause I'm a nerd for that. Then on the next stop I could see a lean white woman in like her late 20s who was basically wearing what a white girl, ages 15 to 18, would wear. Even sunglasses that had no point, since it was basically dusk and cloudy. I typically look out the window and watch the sky this time of day when I'm in a vehicle. And she had a bobbed haircut when she was looking for a seat. And just as she was about to pass by the row I was seated in, she got an annoyed look on her face the moment she was in front of the guy in front of me. Note, I always have one earbud out so I can hear what's going on around me. She looked like she was about to say something when the driver told her to take a seat. She complied and sat 2 rows ahead of me in front of the guy. And that's when the story starts. Cast, me equals duh. IV equals innocent victim. RB equals racist B. B equals bystanders. BD equals bus driver. Cop equals the popo. RB looks back and coughs. IV ignores or didn't hear her. RB coughs like a bullfrog with a sore throat. IV, hey, are you, gets cut off. RB, yes, I was just wondering who you got those AirPods from. IV confused. What? RB in a condescending tone. Don't play dumb. I'm asking whose AirPods those are. IV now understanding what's happening. Oh no, these aren't AirPods, they're hearing aids. Gets cut off again. RB now angered and loud. Don't lie to me, I know you stole those AirPods, now hand them over and I won't call the cops. She then looks at me for some support, I guess. RB, hey you, call the cops. This stupid N-word stole my AirPods. Me, lady, those are way too big to be AirPods. And also I heard everything and I think you need to calm down. RB explodes. Don't talk back to me, you P. I have no idea what that meant, and assumed it was a fat joke. Do as you're told. This is where the entire bus started to look at her and she thought she now had an army of witnesses, because this is what she did. RB, help, help, this thief stole my phone and AirPods. B, lady, shut up. I saw what happened, you're trying to get those two in trouble. RB, no one asked for your opinion. B gets cut off by BD. BD yelling from her seat. Miss, if you don't stop this right now, I'll pull this bus over and have you kicked off. RB now red in the face, but this stupid Haitian stole from me. IV stands up, who to my surprise is tall AF. Lady, I was born and raised here, Florida. RB, help, assault, and something that's done by force. Me, oh my god, just shut up you stupid. BD, that's it. Pulls off to the side of a road next to a gas station and death glares RB. Get out now, you're no longer welcome here. RB, now trying to be sympathetic, but I live on the other side of gets cut off by B. B, well maybe think before you act like a child next time. RB now aggressively trying to rip out IV's ears. IV, get off me, lady. RB, no, you owe me these. RB gets restrained by other Bs and released as she calms down a bit. RB then decides to actually call the cops. RB smugly, ha, now you're all gonna get it. Me officially done. Actually, you just effed yourself. RB, shut up, you don't know anything. This is what you get for disrespecting adults. Me sees a window. I know how to respect adults, but I don't respect whiny pieces of trash like you. RB, I'll have you arrested for verbal assault. Me, okay? 5 minutes pass and the cops' sirens could be heard. RB then takes the opportunity to actually make herself tear up. Cop, okay, we got a call about RB. This Haitian N-word assaulted me and stole from me. Cop, ma'am, calm down and tell me exactly what happened. RB then tells the story about how IV came onto the bus and stole her AirPods out from her ears. then proceeded to grope her, to which she then collapsed to the ground in front of the cop. Meanwhile, everyone else is looking at her in a disgusted look that says, "You're the most pathetic person in this world." The cop then asks to see the AirPods, to which IV then points to his ears, and as the cop asks where are the AirPods, RB then yelled, "Right there, they're in his ears, can't you see?" The cop then asks everyone else their side of the story, and lo and behold, someone took a video about the whole ordeal. He then told RB to stand up and put her hands behind her back. She did not like this. She then started to flail around like Boom Boom from Mario, till she got to a trash and threw anything she could at IV, and the cop while yelling out profanities and racial slurs, till the cop tackled and cuffed her. IV pressed charges. Everyone got back on the bus. IV thanked everyone who helped, and we all went home and lived happily ever after. This all happened within a span of 1 hour. What an exciting bus ride. I haven't seen such an epic Uno reverse card pulled in a while. Kudos to you and the innocent victim for handling the situation like champs. As for the racist B, well, she certainly deserves a spot on the most ridiculous people of the year list. I mean, who in their right mind would mistake hearing aids for AirPods? And trying to play the victim after being caught in a lie? Come on, lady, we're not buying it. Also, I'm pretty sure P is not a fat joke, but rather a racial slur, but maybe not. In any case, thank you for sharing this hilarious story. It's a good reminder that no matter how ridiculous people can be, there's always someone willing to stand up to them. The second story is the January that management couldn't manage. Guys and gals and non-binary pals, this January has been insane with regards to my workplace. We started the new year with 4 people on the management team, and now, well, keep reading. Our story starts on New Year's Eve, or more accurately, New Year's morning. The front desk supervisor is a woman who trained me, who taught me all sorts of stuff, and she's one of the more popular front desk employees with guests, because she's very boisterous and outgoing. Lately, she's been complaining that she doesn't really need this job, that she's about to start her own business, and she's only there so that she can leave on good terms. She's my relief for the morning. A bit unusual, but not unheard of. Guess who neither calls in nor shows up? Very unusual for her. Very, very unusual. This is not something she's done at any point in the past. Management texts her. I text her. I want to know if she's okay. Nothing. It's like she vanished off the face of the earth. I'm doing audit again the next day, and she's again supposed to be my relief. Again, pretty unusual, but weird things are happening with our schedule, so whatever. No call, no show number 2 in a row. At this point, she's gone. You don't get to pull a no call, no show twice in a row over a holiday weekend and keep your job. Unless at this point I fear the worst. I know what the holiday weekend can be like. I know how crazy people are. And I know that the only no call, no show I've done in the past was when I was in a hospital, and I didn't call in because I couldn't. So I'm having these visions of her in a car wreck or God only knows what. Anyway, she wasn't scheduled for the next few days in the first place, so we're kinda left wondering. Her next shift is at the end of the week on Friday. Of course, someone is scheduled to cover, because no one has heard from her and we have no reason to expect her to come in. Guess who rolls in for her shift as if nothing happened? 5 minutes later, the FDA who is scheduled to cover shows up. The two of them hate each other with a passion, so things get super awkward. Eventually, supervisor gets a message to call AGM, and she leaves. We haven't seen her since. 1. Front desk supervisor. Remaining management, GM, AGM, FOM. This next one is much less of a tale. We've known since before the new year that the AGM was looking at moving to a different property to take over as GM, and she apparently managed to get that opportunity right after the above story. She turns in her 2 weeks, leaves on good terms, everything is okay. She was the woman who hired me. She was very direct sometimes, but she genuinely cared once she came to understand that you also cared. Unfortunate timing, but sometimes that just kinda happens. 1. Assistant General Manager. Remaining management, GM, FOM. And then we come to tonight, or I guess technically last night. We're in the midst of an ice storm, and the roads really aren't safe to drive on. For a bit of perspective, our FOM is a tremendous piece of SH and nobody likes him. He's the sort of guy who will never cover for any shifts, will always schedule his time off so that he doesn't have to deal with the big groups, always makes schedules wrong, and so on. He was brought onto that position by the previous GM who's now gone. FDA is unable to make it in, because the roads are just an absolute mess. This is understandable. One of our maintenance guys volunteers to go pick him up. This prince of a fellow not only goes and gets FDA, but takes him home at the end of his shift. Also, for those of you who have been reading, this is the same FDA from the first story. What I didn't find out till later was that when FDA was brought up to the hotel, FOM effing bailed. It wasn't even the end of his shift. He was scheduled from 6 a.m. until 2 p.m., but he decided that he just didn't need to be there anymore, and took off without any warning. If my coworkers are to be believed, and the GM's demeanor suggests that this is correct, then the FOM no longer works here. Good riddance to bad rubbish. 1 front office manager. Remaining management, GM. I've applied for the AGM position, with the understanding that I'd be willing to take FOM or supervisor if GM thinks I'm not ready for the AGM role yet. I am, but I don't know if she realizes it. But yeah, we started January with 4 members of management, and we're starting February with 1. Wish me luck. Oh wow, it seems like your workplace is having some trouble managing management. Losing 1 member of the team is understandable. Losing 2 is concerning, but losing 3? That's just January trying to take you down with all its might. Good luck with your application, and let's hope that the remaining management doesn't decide to join the January that couldn't manage club. Maybe start a support group or something? And the last story is, you'd make more money if you worked harder. No, I'd make more money if people actually came here. I'm 27 and have been working in food service for about 10 years, and as a server for about 5. I had an 8-month unemployment stint during COVID, and I went back to work, basically took the first job that was offered. It was great at first. There was strong morale between the staff and management was good, until the best floor manager got fired by the owners for speaking her mind about the disrespect she received. Everything went downhill. Her replacement was an entitled manager who decided to blame all the restaurant's faults on us employees, instead of the terrible owners. Very quickly, the whole restaurant declined. Many people quit. We'd have a lot of new people start and shortly quit right after. The kitchen got so bad that all the food was terrible, made wrong and took forever to go out. It wasn't uncommon for food times to reach an hour on the weekends. Many first-time customers had terrible experiences, and many regulars told me they'd never come back after years of patronage. Word of mouth moved fast in the small community we were located in, and soon I went from making $500 to $600 per week to sometimes barely even $300. Now I'm a very experienced server. I was one of the oldest on my staff, working among a lot of 18-year-olds working their first job. But if I'm not making money worth my effort, I'm not putting the effort in. I put in my 2 weeks after a few months of making money. I'd only been working there for 6 months at this point, and I was already one of the most senior servers. My managers were very displeased at first, and tried to punish me with extra work, cutting me last, etc. I didn't care. I silently did what I was supposed to without putting an extra effort in. On the last day of my first week with notice, the new manager randomly flipped out on me for having a bad attitude in front of everyone, including several new staff members. I stood straight-faced and told him I haven't said a thing all week. I was doing exactly what was in my job description and nothing else. Then he tried to tell me that I wouldn't have a problem making money if I had a better attitude and worked harder. And I said, no, I'd make more money if people actually came into the restaurant anymore. I can't work hard if there's no one to work hard for. At that point, I'd been at work for 2 hours and hadn't gotten a single table, so he couldn't even say anything. He got mad and walked away, and I proceeded to tell the 3 new staff members exactly how much I'd been making the last few months. It was one girl's first day, and she was also a more experienced server, and she was like, yeah, they definitely lied to me about how much money I'd make in my interview, and I told her to just not come back. I was supposed to have 1 more week after that, but I never went back, and I laughed at myself as that same manager frantically called me the next day when I didn't show up to my shift. I have a much better job now, and often have old coworkers from this place messaging me asking me to help get them a job. I can't wait until the business goes under. Hey OP, I'm glad you didn't work harder at that restaurant. Otherwise, the customers might have mistaken you for a superhero and started throwing money at you. But seriously, that entitled manager needs to learn that blaming employees for management's mistakes won't make the restaurant successful. Cheers to your better job, and may the restaurant's demise be swift and painless. Don't forget to hit the like button to support the channel and subscribe. Have a good day.